Congressman Mike Lawler, Republican from New York, joins me now. Your Democrat colleagues have been silent, largely, on anti-Semitism. Is that because their party is split?
Their party is consumed by it. You're seeing, obviously, with Senator Schumer calling for regime change in Israel, Nancy Pelosi now calling on Benjamin Netanyahu to resign. They are trying to appease a radical progressive base that just peddles an anti-Semitism for fear that they're going to lose in Michigan and Minnesota if this radical pro-Hamas base stays home. And, you know, what they are doing, putting electoral politics ahead of the national security of the United States, is unconscionable, frankly. And what's happening on these college campuses, where you see a rapid rise in anti-Semitism, needs to be addressed immediately. It's why I introduced the Stop Anti-Semitism on College Campuses Act, as well as the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act. Congress must act immediately, pass this legislation, and crack down on these universities with these weak-kneed administrators who are kowtowing to the pro-Hamas crowd rather than ensuring the safety and well-being of all students.
You're joining House Speaker Mike Johnson on his visit to Columbia University today in New York. What's your objective? What's your goal with that visit?
Well, I was there on Monday, Stuart, with Sid Rosenberg and Anthony D'Esposito, and we held a press conference outside of Columbia University today. We're going to meet with Jewish students who are under siege on the campus, as well as hold a press conference with the speaker to discuss this. Bottom line is, these universities across America have allowed anti-Semitism to reign supreme on their campuses. These administrators have done nothing to combat it, and President Shafiq should resign immediately. She puts a deadline of midnight to take down the encampments. They blow past it, and now she says, okay, you can stay. I mean, how embarrassing, how disgraceful that these administrators are allowing this to occur.
One of your colleagues, Elise Stefanik, she's a Republican, she wants Biden to pull federal funding from Columbia. What do you say to that?
Well, I introduced the bill, Stop Anti-Semitism on College Campuses, which would strip every institution of higher learning of federal dollars, including student aid, if they promote or sanction anti-Semitic events on their campuses, like we're seeing here at Columbia University. I fundamentally agree with Elise that every federal dollar should be pulled. These universities are not entitled to it. You have students here on visas who are joining in on this protest, who are getting the opportunity to get an education here in America, and yet they are peddling in this anti-Semitic behavior, and it needs to be stopped. And frankly, oftentimes these universities won't act unless funding is at risk.
Congressman, the NYPD wants to know who is paying for these protests at Columbia. Watch this, please. Roll it.
They all were the same color. They all were the same type of tents, the same ones that we saw on NYU, the same ones that we see in Columbia. To me, I think somebody's funding this. Also, there are professional agitators in there that are just looking for something to be agitated about, which is the protest.
Congressman, I'm editorializing on this program today that it is Hamas that's behind all of this. What say you?
Whether it's Hamas or some entity here in the United States or another foreign entity, I don't think there's any question there's a coordinated effort. Look, the far left in this country is a bunch of professional agitators. Going back to Occupy Wall Street, and look at what went on down there in the aftermath of the 2008 financial crisis. You see what's happening on college campuses. It is intended to disrupt. It is intended to threaten. This is not about free speech. This is about trying to make everybody agree with the far left in this country. It needs to be combated. These children are there to learn. They need to be safe and secure on the campus, and the administrators have a responsibility to immediately end it. Everyone who is engaged in physical harm or threats should be arrested immediately. These students on visas that are part of this should be deported out of the country. And anyone who is engaged in this type of conduct should be expelled from these universities. There needs to be consequences.
Yep.
The participation trophy generation is here, and unfortunately, they've never been told no. It's time to start telling them no.
Congressman Mike Lawler, thank you very much for being with us today. An important day, and we appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.